Hello everyone and welcome to the Open Page. Today I invite you to meet a writer who transformed Urdu fiction not through loud declarations or dramatic plots, but through silence, symbolism and psychological depth. A writer who dared to enter the hidden chambers of the human mind and reveal the struggles that often remain invisible. Today we are talking about Khalida Hussain. Born in 1937, Khalida Hussain occupies a unique place in modern Urdu literature. While many writers focused on social realism and external events, she chose a different path. She turned inward. She explored memory, consciousness, loneliness, uncertainty, and the complex emotional lives of ordinary people, especially women. Reading Khalida Hussain is not like reading a conventional story. Her narratives do not always offer clear beginnings, straightforward plots, or neat conclusions. Instead, they invite readers into a world of symbols, fragments, and silences. She trusts her readers to think, question, and interpret. This is one of the reasons she is considered one of the most intellectual, rich, and innovative voices in Urdu fiction. At the heart of her work is a deep concern for women's experiences. But what makes her portrayal of women remarkable is that she refuses to reduce them to familiar social identities. Her women are not merely wives, mothers, daughters, or caretakers. They are thinking individuals. They doubt, observe, imagine, resist, and suffer. They possess inner lives that are often richer and more complex than the worlds around them can recognize. In many ways, Khalida Hussain's fiction asks a simple but powerful question. What happens to a woman when society sees only her role and not her humanity? This question becomes especially visible in one of her most fascinating stories, Zawal Pasand Aurat. The story begins with a strange and almost absurd event. A fly dies, and people gather around it as though attending a funeral. What appears comic at first gradually becomes disturbing. A trivial incident is transformed into a public spectacle. At the center of this spectacle sits a woman. She is writing, thinking, observing. She's surrounded by language, yet she struggles to express herself. Her thoughts remain incomplete, fragmented, unfinished. When she eventually kills the fly, her simple act becomes the basis for public judgment. Suddenly, society turns her private action into a moral issue. Why? Because Khalida Hussain is not really writing about a fly. She's writing about surveillance, judgment, and the discomfort society feels when women think independently. The fly becomes a symbol. The crowd becomes a symbol. Even the accusation directed at the woman becomes a symbol of a larger social reality. The story asks us to consider an important possibility. Perhaps the real decline is not in the woman herself, but in the society that cannot tolerate independent thought, reflection, or individuality. The second work I want to mention today is Masrouf Aurat, The Busy Woman. At first glance, the title sounds ordinary. After all, we all know busy people. We often celebrate busyness as a sign of productivity, responsibility, and success. But Khalida Hussain encourages us to look beyond appearances. What does it mean to be constantly busy? What happens when a woman's life becomes so crowded with obligations that she has little time left for herself? In Masrouf Aurat, busyness is not merely a condition, it's a metaphor. It represents the invisible labor women perform every day, the emotional burdens they carry, the expectations they fulfill, the sacrifices they make. The woman is busy, but in being busy, she risks becoming invisible. Her value is measured by what she does for others rather than who she is. This is one of Khalida Hussain's greatest strengths as a writer. She takes ordinary situations and reveals the deeper truths hidden within them. A fly becomes a symbol of social judgment. Busyness becomes a symbol of erasure. Silence becomes a symbol of struggle, and everyday life becomes a window into larger questions about identity, freedom, and human existence. When we read Zawal Pasand Aurat and Masroof Aurat together, we begin to see a common concern running through Khalida Hussain's work. She's interested in the gap between what society sees and what individuals experience. Society sees a woman killing a fly. The woman experiences confusion, thought, and inner conflict. Society sees a busy woman fulfilling her duties. The woman experiences exhaustion, loneliness, and the loss of self. Again and again, Khalida Hussain reminds us that most important stories are often hidden beneath the surface. This is why her work remains so relevant today. We live in a world that encourages constant performance, constant productivity, and instant judgment. We are often expected to explain ourselves, prove our worth, and conform to social expectations. Khalida Hussain asks us to pause, to listen, to pay attention to what remains unsaid, to recognize that every human being possesses an inner world that deserves understanding rather than judgment. As we close today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Khalida Hussain teaches us that silence is never empty. Behind every silence lies a story. Behind every ordinary moment lies a deeper truth. And behind every woman society defines from the outside exists a rich and complex world waiting to be heard. Until next time, keep reading beyond the surface, keep questioning easy answers, and keep turning the page.